For the Alliance, for the Horde, for the love of all that is good and nerdy, let's get excited that we are finally getting a big budget Warcraft movie, you guys. The wild world of Azeroth invades theaters on June 10th and tells the epic story of a meet-cute gone murdery between the orcs fleeing the planet Draenor and the hapless humans of Azeroth. Now, while I'm very excited to see Duncan Jones bringing one of my absolute favorite gaming franchises to life, I'll be the first to admit that in the canon of Warcraft, this is actually one of the less scintillating chapters in the game's storied history. However, like a good season of Game of Thrones or in the early days of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the table must be set for future adventures. But what could those adventures be? Well, today on the Dan Cave, I'm gonna run down the Warcraft sequels that we want to see most. Tides of Darkness. Now, given that the Warcraft movie follows the original game, it makes sense that a sequel would follow Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness. It's an epic story that finds the heroic knight Anduin Lothar assembling the scattered remains of the human army that battled the orc invaders. Now, unable to repel the orcs by themselves, Lothar realizes they need to assemble an alliance, if you will, including the likes of humans, night elves, dwarves, and those crafty little gnomes. What will they think of next? The alliance ultimately manages to stand its ground against the Horde, but the real kicker of this would be the momentous assault on Blackrock's Spire, during which the savage orc leader Orgrim Doomhammer murders Anduin Lothar. It's a devastating moment in Warcraft lore, but it would be a fist-pumpingly awesome moment to see in IMAX, followed shortly by, Leroy Jenkins. Be rad. The Temple of Ahn'Qiraj. Scarabs, ancient evils, and a nightmare-inducing elder god straight out of H.P. Lovecraft's playbook. I mean, what's not to like, guys? Sealed by a magical scarab wall, the Temple of Ahn'Qiraj was basically a terrifying prison fortress full of insectoid warriors meant to serve as a jail for the old god Cthulhu. The Qiraji, the race that inhabits Ahn'Qiraj, had once devastated Kalimdor with its armies, and Cthulhu was once again stirring them into a frenzy using his evil tentacle might, I don't know, whatever elder gods do. Only through the combined might of the Horde and the Alliance, though, could the denizens of Azeroth hope to prevail. And considering how epic this event was when it first released in World of Warcraft, my body is ready to see towering scarab beasts on the big screen. The Reign of Chaos. Now, Warcraft 3 is considered to be the gold standard of Warcraft storytelling, and rightly so. It introduces the Scourge, the undead menace that ravaged the kingdom of Lordaeron. It introduced Prince Arthas Menethil, the heir to the throne of Lordaeron, who was a brave young paladin that fought against them, only to be seduced by the Scourge's undead leader, the Lich King. It also saw the former orc slave Thrall rising up to reform the Horde, which had been shattered after the Alliance defeated them at the Dark Portal. And it also saw the big three races of orcs, humans, and night elves forced to come together to battle the demonic Archimonde. I mean, seriously, what more could you want from a movie? What's that? The Frozen Throne, you say? Don't you worry, I got you covered, baby. The Frozen Throne. Look, guys, you cannot introduce Arthas Menethil without completing his harrowing, sad saga. Using the cursed blade Frostmourne, Arthas not only became a Death Knight, but led an army of undead to ravage his homeland before eventually merging with the being known as the Lich King, the telepathic ruler of the undead Scourge. You know, that old chestnut. That old telepathic skeleton boss and Frostmourne wielded chestnut. But wait, there's more. With the undead night elf Sylvanas Windrunner leading an army of forsaken undead soldiers and the demonic night elf Illidan Stormrage both assaulting the Lich King's lair in Northrend, it's up to Arthas to save the day. For evil. And he does just that. It's actually really messed up and brutal, and it leaves Illidan Stormrage like banished to the demonic realm of the Outland. It's just like straight out of Game of Thrones, and you know what? It's something that we deserve to see on film, Blizzard. The Burning Crusade. Nothing good ever comes out of the Dark Portal. Nothing. That's why it's called the Dark Portal and not the Fortunate Doorway or the Good Times Gate. So when the aptly named Doomlord Kha'Zix opened the Dark Portal, you better believe that a throng of genocidal demons known as the Burning Legion poured through it from the realm of Outland. Azeroth gets invaded pretty regularly, but what makes this special is that the Horde and the Alliance have to venture through the portal to Outland to stop the evil at its source. And what they find there, in addition to Stygian nightmare creatures, are long-lost heroes of the Alliance and the Magar, or Maghar, I don't know how to pronounce it, the so-called uncorrupted orcs who were not a part of that initial invasion force led by Gul'dan. And it's a good thing too, because they would need all the help they could to defeat the fell forces of Illidan Stormrage. Remember him? Well, once he got to Outland, turned out he became a real piece of shit, leading armies of demons and just like festering in his own sadness. But I mean, hey, Who doesn't love a good comeback, am I right? Am I right? That guy sucks. Starcraft! I know, this is about Warcraft sequels, but hear me out. How f***ing cool would this be? I mean, if we got to see the likes of Jim Raynor, Kerrigan, Tassadar, and Zerglings on the big screen, I would spawn enough overlords to kill a baby horse to make this happen. And that's an unthinkable amount of overlords. Or a very strong baby horse. But what do you guys think? What Warcraft stories would you like to see brought to life on the big screen? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, give me a Tauren-sized thumbs up. They're the cow people. That's all for today's show. Join me next time when I talk about the story of 5 of the UK's fiercest pop stars who race against time to stop a deadly outbreak of the undead in Spice World War Z. Until next time, keep on digging. Let's open up the old mailbag, shall we? At JMZ Design asks, are you afraid of the dark? No, you are. I am actually still scared of that one episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark with the creepy clown that drooled blue shit like a comic book store. God, gave me nightmares for years, dude. At Cerelia Rose asks, does your impaired sense of smell affect the way things taste? You know what? Great question. I'm sure it does on some level, but generally no. I mean, I couldn't tell you that a glass of wine has a very red bouquet with grapey undertones, but I could tell you if it tastes good or bad. It's not always going to taste like the color gray, which I assume is pretty good. At DTrain1813 asks, what can't The Rock do? The answer is simple. Defeat the paper. Well, that and stop committing to future projects. I mean, he's got Doc Savage, he's got Baywatch, he's got Jumanji, he's got Central Intelligence, he's got Shazam. Jesus Christ, he's a busy man. But tell me guys, which upcoming The Rock movie are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.